Lalia mami, inshallah. Lalia mami, inshallah. Àwa tá ń tẹ̀lé tí òjíṣẹ́ ńlá. Iwájú làwa ò máa lọ, a ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Sunnah and self-esteem, àrà ọ̀tọ̀. Ètò ìrora ẹni lágbára, ìgbéra ẹni níyì ti wà lórí afẹ́fẹ́ báyìí o. Ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ lórí iléeṣẹ́ wa, Naija 101.1 FM. Láti aago 6 títí di aago 8 àṣálẹ́. Láti ṣe olùgbọ̀wọ́ ètò yìí, ẹ kàn sí wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa 077-690-51172 077-690-51172. New Era and Sunnah and Self-Esteem, your educative, empowerment and development program. Fridays on Naija 101.1 FM, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For sponsorship, please contact us on 077-690-51172. 077-690-51172. You can send us an email, ss.esteem@gmail.com. We are on Facebook. Check us on Facebook, Sunnah and Self-Esteem. Ilali amami, inshallah. Ilali amami, inshallah. Àwa tá ń tẹ̀lé tí òjíṣẹ́ ńlá. Iwájú làwa ò máa lọ, a ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Iwájú lèmi ò máa lọ, ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Iwájú lẹ́yìn ò máa lọ, ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Ramadan Mubarak, Holy Records.
Ramadan Mubarak, لكل مسلم. شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن. Happy Ramadan to all Muslims. All the Quran descends in this holy month. أرحب بك يا شهر الرحمة. أرحب بك يا شهر رمضان. بك أرجي لقاء قرب ربي. بك روحي وقلبي قد صار. رمضان مبارك لكل مسلم. شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن. Happy Ramadan to all Muslims. All the Quran descends in this holy month. Welcome you, O holy man of Ramadan. I welcome you, O holy man of blessings. You are seeking nearness to my Creator. For you, my soul and heart has been purified. Ramadan Mubarak, لكل مسلم. شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن. Happy Ramadan to all Muslims. All the Quran descends in this holy month. Ramadan, Ramadan, the month of forgiveness. Ramadan, the month of blessing. Ramadan, Ramadan, oh, the month of peace. Ramadan, Ramadan, the month of love. Ramadan Mubarak لكل مسلم. شهر الذي فيها ينزل القرآن.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا. الحمد لله كثيرا. الحمد لله طيبا. الحمد لله مباركا فيه. الحمد لله حمدا. الحمد لله كثيرا. الحمد لله طيبا. الحمد لله مباركا فيه. وصلى الله على النبي الأمي المبارك فيه الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين. Name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Allah Ya Rahman, the everlasting God, the living God, the loving God, the one and only. Ya Rabbal Alameen, we are grateful for another beautiful Friday. Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, we are getting closer and closer to the start of Ramadan, inshallah. We testify that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. There's none worthy of his praise or worship. We testify that our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah and the last prophet sent to mankind. We also multiple blessings upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, his family, friends, and their ummah. We are seen as Ya Ghafur, forgive our sins and have mercy on us. Bijai masha'Allahu la quwwata illa billah. Our beloved listeners, our beloved watchers, our fans, our family, our friends, everywhere in the world, wherever you might be watching, wherever you might be listening to us. Welcome you back on today's program. And I would like to welcome you with the best of greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah for another beautiful Friday. We have less than 2 Fridays before Ramadan will start, inshallah. We have less than 2 weeks. We should be accounting 12 days, 13 days for us to start Ramadan, depending on if Sha'ban is complete. And Bi'Iznillah, we are very excited and looking forward to the coming Ramadan. We ask Allah in His infinity mercy to be with us. We ask Allah in His infinity mercy to preserve us beyond Ramadan. Ameen. Like we normally do as humans, as sisters, as brothers, as as Muslims generally, we have a responsibility over each other. So we have come again tonight to encourage ourselves, to motivate ourselves, to prepare ourselves for the coming Ramadan, the blessed month of Ramadan, inshallah. So there are things we need to do just before Ramadan. Just before we start Ramadan. Last week we talked about the spiritual aspect of preparing ourselves for Ramadan. Today we want to talk about our physical self. We want to talk about our physical self and also talk about our emotions in a way to prepare for the month of Ramadan. As we know, we need to prepare our body, which comes in different ways. We talk about food, we think about sleep, and a lot of things, physical activities as well. And with me today, I have our holistic nutritionalist in the name of my darling sister, Rodhiya AbdulKabir Oriyomi, who is she is a holistic nutritionist, and she'll be educating us on the things, the good food and its nutrients that we should be having or we should be eating at certain times before Ramadan, during Ramadan, and after Ramadan, inshallah. We know our body is amana, which we have to look at. We have to look after. Allah will ask us what we've done with our body. So, and Allah in His infinity mercy wants us as well to actually look after our body. So, as we look after our body, it helps us to have a productive Ramadan. As there are several things we advised each other last week. One of them is start fasting in Sha'ban, and also start fasting Mondays and Thursdays, just to get our body and mind and soul ready for Ramadan. And we will be talking about our food intakes. We'll talk a little bit about our physical activities and also sleep, eating good food and resting, which helps us to function very well physically and also helps us emotionally as well. We talked about the challenges we may have, right? We'll talk about the challenges we may have, because it's not everybody that will be able to fast. People that have
health challenges, people that are old and not able to fit too fast. There are so many things we can do to actually supplement our fasting or to get to be part of the reward. Tonight, like I said earlier, we've come to encourage ourselves, to motivate ourselves, and for us to come together and think and work towards achieving set goals in the coming Ramadan. My name is Nafeesa Ayeola Odofin, and I'm happy to be back on today's program, inshallah. Akíwò títí ń wà nílé, ìyá alájẹ babalájẹ ṣe ajé wọgbá, àṣejèrè ni a máa ṣe bíjáì Muhammad, bíjáì masha Allahu la quwwata illa billah. Gbogbo wa tá wà ní ilé ìtajà, gbogbo wa tá wà ní ilé, a kí yín káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ní Sunnah and Self-Esteem tí a ti máa ń dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Apọ́lá Ajímọ̀ tèmi, ẹ̀yin wá ṣe púpọ̀ láyé. Ramadan tó ń kanlẹ̀kùn yìí, Ọlọ́run aláàánú jùlọ, Ọba Allah yóò dá ẹ̀mí wa sí kí a gbà jálẹ̀ kó dẹ̀ ní orí inú tó pọ̀. Wọlé akún fàyẹ̀kùn. Ọlọ́run ọba ló ń dá ẹ̀mí sí. A bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run nínú àánú àti ògo ẹ̀ wípé kí Ọlọ́run ọba kí ó dá ẹ̀mí wa sí kó dẹ̀ ṣàánú wa. Ramadan tá à ń wò lójú yìí, k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí ó bá wa láyé. K'Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ gbà ní ìbádà fún wa, kó jẹ́ ká rí nǹkan rere ṣe ní ìgbà Ramadan ni. K'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká rí òun sìn. Wọ́n bá pẹ́pẹ́ fún tí a bá dẹ̀ ṣe kí Ọlọ́run gbà ní ìbádà. Àmín. Ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá, a bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ bí a ṣe máa gbáradì fún Ramadan, torí èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ gbáradì fún oṣù àpọ́nlé, oṣù ẹ̀yọ́nú, oṣù ńlá yìí ni. Ṣé wọn kí a máa gbààwẹ̀? A lè máa gbààwẹ̀ for so many hours, pàápàá wa tí a bá wà ní ìlú òyìnbó. Even tí àwa tí a sí ní ìlú òyìnbó, ẹni tó ti ń jẹun àárọ̀, tó ti ń jẹ tọ̀sán, tó ti ń jẹ talẹ́, ṣàdédé la máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ Ramadan tí a máa fi bí panú fún wákàtí tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. A gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú ẹ̀mí, a gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú ara tí a fẹ́ fi gba àwẹ̀ náà. A bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn nǹkan tí a ní láti ṣe spiritually, láti máa ní ìrántí Ọlọ́run àti gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ ká ṣe láti fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí connect pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run ní ìsìn, ní èní, ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. A fẹ́ bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn nǹkan tí a ní láti máa ṣe pẹ̀lú ara tí a fẹ́ fi gba àwẹ̀ yìí, torí àmánà ni ara wa jẹ́. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí a tọ́jú ara náà. Àwa ní àlejò pàtàkì lórí ètò ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Sísítà wa ni, ọ̀rẹ́ wa ni wọ́n, ọmọ wa ni wọ́n, ọmọ yín ni wọ́n, olólùfẹ́ wa sì ni wọ́n. Sísítà Rodhiya AbdulKabir Oriyomi náà máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn tí ara wa a gbọ́dọ̀ lò fún ara wa, àwọn tí a gbọ́dọ̀ máa jẹ sí ara wa, tó lè jẹ́ wípé ó máa ṣe àǹfààní fún wa tí àwẹ̀ bá bẹ̀rẹ̀, tí a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gba àwẹ̀ Ramadan yìí, kí ara náà lè di ara tí ó máa gba àwẹ̀, tó máa wà capable, tó dẹ̀ máa ní ìsinmi. Kí Ọlọ́run kó ṣe gbogbo ohun tí a bá ṣe, k'Ọlọ́run kó gbà ní ìrọ̀rùn, k'Ọlọ́run kó gbà ní ìbádà, kó dẹ̀ ṣe ní ìrọ̀rùn fún wa. Wala ma sha Allahu la quwwata illa billahi wa ma tawfiqi illa billah. Gbogbo ohun tí a ti kọ́lẹ̀, gbogbo ohun tí a fẹ́ achieve nínú Ramadan tí a fẹ́ gbà yìí, k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́. Kí Ọlọ́run má dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí ó jẹ́ àṣemọ Ramadan tí a máa ṣe. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ashia Sang àti Alhaji wa Tajudeen Aweda Aigoro. Mi ò ní gbà wá lásìkò mọ́. I'll go straight into the program. Please join me as I welcome our darling sister, our holistic nutritionist, and she'll be talking to us about preparing our physical self, physically and emotionally for Ramadan. K'Ọlọ́run aláàánú jùlọ kí ó gbà ní ìbádà. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ wípé oúnjẹ tí à ń jẹ sí ẹnu wa, medicine ní ọ̀tọ̀, tí tá bá jẹun gidi ní àsìkò tí yẹ ká jẹ, ní portion tó yẹ ká jẹ, ẹ rí wípé àlàáfíà máa tún dé bá ara bí àwa náà ṣe lérò lọ. Sister Rodhiya, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Wọ́n ti lórí Instagram àti gbogbo yín, lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube àti lórí rédíò, àti yín káàbọ̀ sórí ètò alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
Alhamdulillah, I'm so delighted to make a studio because I know it's really far. So I ask Allah His infinity mercy to accept from you, from ourselves and all our fans and family at home as an act of ibadah. Add on to our scale of good deeds and reward every one of us abundantly. Welcome to today's program. Right. We want to educate ourselves, like I said, about preparing our body physically and emotionally for Ramadan. A lot of people don't know the importance of preparing your body, even on a daily basis. A lot of us don't know how or why it's important for us to prepare ourselves physically for maybe on our everyday activities. And now that we have Ramadan, which is a special month, and we have to fast for X amount of time, we're not able to drink, we're not able to eat. Is it important actually for us to look after our physical self and emotionally now that we are going to Ramadan?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله. Like you mentioned earlier on, Nafeesa, it is and if you actually remember the first time that I came on the show, I mentioned that everything happens in our brain. Our mental health is the first step in achieving so many things. There are a lot of things that many of us, would have found so easier to achieve in life, mentally, physically, psychologically, holistically, if many of us are in the right state of mind, if we are mentally prepared for it. So, and that transcends to Ramadan as well. In fact, that is when our mental health is so, we really have to prioritize it, because the way our immune system works, if anything is wrong mentally, physically it shows. So imagine suffering something like brain fog, irritability. Imagine staying around someone where you're just irritated. People just feel like, what is wrong with this person? They need to understand that it is coming from your brain. It is mental health. So it is so important. It is the priority. It is not even, it's not something we still need to, it is a priority for us to prepare mentally, because when you are strong mentally, physically other things will be taken care of. Trust me. Even when you're faced with danger, if you have mental capability to handle that situation, you will notice that things will be easier for you. So yeah.
So, how do we prepare ourselves mentally in order for us to be physically and emotionally fit for Ramadan?
Yeah, the number one thing which I feel like we all need to do is when it comes to Ramadan, I'm going to digress a little bit away from Ramadan because we are treating this topic holistically. So, it is to, even in nutrition, in holistic nutrition, in functional medicine, in integrative medicine, there's something we call intermittent fasting. So when people do intermittent fasting, it is important. That is why even when you want to lose weight, you have some sort of metabolic syndrome, any health issue. Intermittent fasting is something we normally recommend, but there is a way to go about it. You have to prepare yourself for it, and number one step is to ease yourself into it. And this is why anyone that is separating religion, especially Islam, from science, this is where I found those people ignorant, because trust me, during my course of study, I noticed that there are a lot of similarities. Sometimes I'll be reading things, and I'll just drop my book and I'll just say Subhanallah, because it is so relatable. Every single thing Quran says, do not do. I just noticed that, wow, even in science, it's just so relatable. So that makes me even feel like, oh, I think I am on the right, I'm actually on the right path, with this. So we ease people into intermittent fasting. So you have to be prepared for it mentally. You ease yourself, and in Islam, Nafeesa, before Ramadan we have Shaban, isn't it? Where Prophet Muhammad advised that you can have a couple of days, prepare yourself for it, and then maybe a few days to Ramadan, then you can just relax yourself and prepare for it. And even in Islam, we have few days during the week. You can just choose like a Monday and Thursdays where you can, all days, you prepare for it. You ease yourself into Ramadan. Monday, imagine someone that has been fasting Mondays and Thursdays. Ramadan, trust me, if there is no any underlying health issue, that person will find Ramadan easier because you've already eased yourself into that situation. It won't be strange. So that is it. You ease yourself into it. You prepare for it. Couple of days prior to Ramadan, you need to curb yourself. You need to really, there are some habits that some of the people that have gotten used to, like we have some people they cannot do without their morning coffee. We have people that drink alcohol. We have people that smoke cigarette. We have people that every couple of hours they have to munch on something. They just are so. All of this, prior to Ramadan, you have to ease yourself into. You have to practice like, okay, for a few days, how can I even do it without having this coffee? Because during Ramadan, I'm not going to be having this. So how can I make this easier for me? So you prepare yourself. You plan. It's like a planning. You plan for it. So I think that is one thing people need to understand, not just like the excitement of Ramadan coming, like, well, yeah, you just wake up, eat, and no, you prepare yourself because if you don't do that, many of us make mistakes. When Ramadan comes, that's why you see us just like getting tired. Some of us, we just want to sleep. Some of us, we get so, we suffer fatigue and because we are not doing things right. There are things that we are supposed to put in place before Ramadan comes. So, and aside easing yourself into it, I think another thing people need to understand is they need to actually cut back. For example, if you eat 3 times daily, you can do 2. Cut back on the amount of calories that you consume per day so that you see if you're going to struggle. If you're not going to struggle, then you know what to do before Ramadan comes. So these are the things people can do that will make Ramadan easier for them. So, and even aside that, Nafeesa, the importance of Ramadan, not even, you may see me using Ramadan and intermittent fasting, interchangeably, because they are both, yeah. So, is the importance. And that is why I say, even as a Muslim, Alhamdulillah, I know on a deeper level that everything that Allah has, told us in the Quran to not do, they are definitely for our own good. They serve a purpose. And if anyone can actually stick to those rules, trust me, life will be easier. So, importance of fasting. While I was studying for my preliminary studying, at the college for holistic nutrition, importance of Ramadan, importance of fasting, it opened such a door for me that even made me understand my religion even more. Because I just felt like, wow, even in science, even in, this is all of these, years and years and years back as Muslims, we've been taught all of this. So the importance of fasting, number one, is it can actually aid the weight loss. And that is why in nutrition or holistic nutrition, intermittent fasting is one of the things that we advise people to actually, stick to. Because what happens when you fast is this. That is why you see some people, they can fast for 30 days. Even some of these other religion, Christians, see them, they experience the white fasting. Why do you think a human, running on glucose can actually stay away from food for 30 days and that person is not going to die? Yet physically, you may see some sign like, okay, this person is actually, but that person will still be alive and healthy. Trust me. And that is because of the way our immune system is built. It all depends on our fat, composition. You see, our body is not just bone. We have a lot of things that make our body up. Body composition. We have water. We have lean muscle. We have our fats. So we have all of this. So how it aids weight loss is that when you fast, people believe, hey, I'm not eating. Oh, am I not going to die? Am I not going to hurt myself? No, because we are not only using glucose for energy. That is why you can do, in fact, we have people doing intermittent fasting 24 hours. We have people going on intermittent fasting 48 hours when they have chronic illness. Because even in the hospital, the people On the first hand, everyone has learned now the importance of fasting, and they are using. In fact, in integrative medicine, it is one of the tools they use in healing chronic inflammation. So when we don't burn glucose, there are other things we can burn for energy. Though glucose is the primary source of energy, however, Allah is so merciful. Allah knows that there are a lot of situations that may not make that glucose, available. So I'm not just going to allow you to die. So your immune system can pick something else to use. And then fat comes next. We have fat. So when your central nervous system, is starved of glucose while we are fasting, what do you think we use? We use ketones. We use fat as energy. Because we have a lot of fat. Aside, like, even when you don't look big, people think, oh, I'm not big now, I'm slim, so I don't have fat. We all have fat. Only get to see that one. Hey, you can, like, okay, your own may be more than mine. Okay, we have subcutaneous, we have visceral fat. So the people on the bigger side, we may be talking about visceral fat for them, which is the unhealthy fat, which is like maybe the abdominal area of fat and all of that. But all of us, we have subcutaneous fat. These are the type of fat that layered our skin. So, like I'm looking at Nafeesa's face now, all beautiful and all of that. Yeah. So subcutaneous fat is making all of that happen. It layers our skin. It provides cushion. It's like a cushion, when you layer something. So there's this type of fat that will be broken down when we are fasting, that will be used as energy. That is why we are able to survive hours without eating, without drinking, because it's like we've already actually, put something away to use for later. So that is another thing people can do. We need to prepare for it. You need to, prior to the Ramadan, make sure that you prepare your immune system. You build enough nutrients that even while fasting, you can survive. You're still going to be able to, go on without eating, without drinking, and your health is still going to be okay. Because a lot of people think, those Muslims, they are not going to eat for 16 hours. Well, no, that does not mean you're going to be deficient in your micronutrients or whatever, because you have everything stored already. So, and it's going to aid weight loss in that area, because when your immune system is not seeing glucose, it will be forced to go back to your stored fat and peak as energy. So throughout the time you are not fasting, you are burning your stored fat. And imagine someone that is struggling with weight loss. That is how you lose weight. That is why we say to people, no amount of slimming tea, no amount of this you can do. If you don't do it right, you're not going to see results. By just doing intermittent fasting, you are going to burn that accumulated visceral fat, because you are not providing glucose. Your system will not allow you to die. Your liver will shut down, and then your ketones. Your liver will have to be taking your stored fats and be breaking them down into ketones, and then you use that as energy. Those fats you've already stored, you are going to be taking them and be using them. That is how you lose fat. It's as simple as that. So it aids your weight loss. You see that everything is a blessing, Nafeesa. So look at the people that have been struggling with weight loss. This is Ramadan. God knows how many pounds they are going to shed. So if they do it right. So, Sister Nafeesa, fasting can also help with our blood pressure. And this is a fact. It's not even like, oh, is it true? It is a fact. Because what happens when you fast with your blood pressure is it's going to be regulated. That is why in holistic nutrition, we say to people, you can't be eating every 2 hours. You can't be eating every 4 hours. If you cannot stay for 4 to 5 to 6 hours without eating, you are not eating the right nutrients. Because the amount of time you eat per day will influence your insulin. You are going to stress your insulin. You are going to stress your pancreas, which is secreting the insulin. So that is why when people say, oh, the moment I wake up in the morning, I want to have breakfast is important. I need to, it is not. It is not important. Imagine someone that feels like, oh, when I wake up, I have to eat breakfast. You will struggle with Ramadan. Because when you wake up in the morning, you want to eat. No, it is not important. So because you have to regulate your insulin for your blood sugar, you know, to be at the optimal level, and fasting will do that for you. Imagine every single moment you put something in your mouth, you trigger insulin, and that is what will wear your pancreas up. It is going to wear it up. Your pancreas will give up, and when that happens, your insulin will give up. You become insulin resistant. Your insulin will not be able to regulate, because every single minute it's like every single minute you are knocking on something, you are knocking on someone's door, and say, are you not going to be tired of me? Like, you know what, please,
Of course.
please, what do you want? Why are you knocking every 1 hour? I don't want that. So, but when you allow your pancreas to relax, not secreting insulin every 1 hour, you regulate your blood sugar. That is another fantastic thing. You know, Ramadan is going to do, fasting in general, it's going to do. So if you are someone that struggles with your blood sugar, fasting is something you can actually, you know, incorporate into your life. Trust me, and it's going to help you. So that is another thing. And another thing, aside your blood sugar, and the moment you see all of these things, you see when I studied anatomy and physiology, yeah, you're just going to like you're just going to be saying Allah Akbar, Subhanallah, the way Allah puts our body together, how everything works together, everything is connected. So the moment your blood sugar is regulated, trust me, your blood pressure would also be regulated. Because majority of the people that have got issue with blood pressure, it is because the blood sugar is so high. Nothing is regulating the blood sugar. They are insulin resistant. They've been predisposed to type 2 diabetes already. So that is putting pressure on the heart to pump blood. That is blood pressure. So the moment you are able to curb one, others, you know, you'll be able to have control over them as well. So fasting can also help you regulating your blood pressure. So, because what happens while we are fasting is you are shutting down your immune system. It's like something, you know, all these pumping machine. It's like your pumping machine that has been pumping water for 3 days. There's no time to rest. That pumping machine will break down. The same thing with that system. Fasting is a way of shutting the immune system down to what? To relax, so that it can continue to function properly. So don't put a lot of pressure on the immune system, and fasting will regulate that for you. So that is another thing it is going to do. Another thing is chronic inflammation. What fasting is going to do for you, Ramadan. That is why, except for people, that is why we say to people, though, when you are sick, you know, there are exemptions in Islam, like, okay, if you are ill, you know, breastfeeding mothers, you know, all of these we have. However, Nafeesa, trust me, except for the fact that your doctor or your healthcare provider feels like your life will be on the line. Trust me, there are a lot of issues, chronic inflammation, you know, a metabolic syndrome that people have today that fasting would actually resolve. Trust me, aside blood sugar, people with hypoglycemia, for example, that are always on the low side of the blood sugar, obviously, they have to be careful when it comes to fasting, because they are not supplying enough glucose for the body to use. So their blood sugar is always going to be dropping. Aside those people, even those ones, Nafeesa, there are ways they can go about things and they can still, you know, fast. All they need is monitor. So that is why when I get there, there is the people that are dealing with type 2 diabetes, or that are hypoglycemic, which is low sugar. So even if they want to fast, the things they can do that will make it easier for them, that will not predispose them, that will not put them at risk, how they can go about it. So that is another thing, chronic inflammation, because we always add the word chronic to it, because inflammation is not a bad thing. Inflammation is not a bad word. So inflammation is something that is needed, but when it becomes chronic, that is when the problem, you know, really is an issue here. So it can actually, because the moment your immune system, is reset with fasting, when you allow, imagine, look at meat, for example. If you eat one medium size of meat, from that moment you eat that meat till the time it's going to be digested, it's going to be absorbed, it's going to reabsorb, then all of the nutrients taken is going to take between like 24 to 48 hours. One medium size of one meat. Imagine someone that had 3 meats, 4 meats. Now, and that is not the only thing they're going to eat for the day.
Yeah.
There is rice, there's this, all of that. Imagine what fasting will do. Imagine when you have moments in between when we allow that one to be digested, to be broken down, to be absorbed and everything. That is what fasting is going to do. In fact, fasting is a blessing. Wallahi. Fasting, let's not even talk about religion. Fasting is a blessing. And alhamdulillah, today, during the course of my study, even when you go people, you see them out there all screaming intermittent fasting, intermittent fasting. They are doing 16, 8, they are doing 8, 8, 16, 5, 16. They know now. So fasting is just a blessing to the humanity. Then another thing fasting will do is it can actually boost the brain function. Fasting can boost brain function because your brain, you are not going to be glucose, like I said. How many times you eat per day can actually impact your insulin response. So imagine allowing your insulin to relax. Even your brain will relax. Your brain will relax. So that will actually improve your brain function to boost it because you have other things to deal with. You are not going to be thinking about, oh, I want to eat. Let me go and prepare that right. Let me make that tea. That moment, you'll be focused on one thing. Maybe you want to do a ibadah, maybe a job, maybe this and that. So it's going to improve your brain function. So that is another thing fasting is going to do. And the last one that I feel it's going to do is the cholesterol. Because this is one thing everyone, they fear a lot. Anyway, cholesterol, people are on statins, people are on, what happened? In my inbox, we say, please, that cholesterol. I said, it's okay. Cholesterol is not something to fear. Cholesterol is not a bad thing. Cholesterol is actually a good thing. It is something necessary. It is something that is needed. However, because we have types, we have the good one, we have the bad one. We have the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. And then we have the HDL, which is the good one. So fasting will help to regulate the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL, because LDL comes from all of the things we eat. That cookies you want to eat, snack, all of these things, and pastries, meat pie, Nigeria meat pie. That is how we accumulate, all of this unnecessary, cholesterol. And when you do that during fasting, we won't have time to do that. So what's going to happen? Your cholesterol will be regulated. The only cholesterol you are going to be having is the one your liver is producing, because whether you eat cholesterol from food or not, 70% of the cholesterol we use every day is being produced by our liver. But at least you are going to know you are having quality cholesterol being produced instead of adding unhealthy one to that from what you eat. So fasting would at least help that. So while we are doing fasting, so that is these are the importance of fasting, Nafeesa. So I don't know if you want me to go on and then.
Yeah, we've realized what you're abundantly. We try to explain the reasons why fasting is good for us. May Allah reward you for that. How do we actually put this into practice? And I'm sure you're not talking about nutrients, which is where we actually need to go, because we need nutrients whether we are fasting or we are not fasting. So what we can do to balance everything, especially during Ramadan, so our body can still feel healthy, we have the physical strength, and emotionally we are sound. When these two combine together, it helps us to actually put in all our best during Ramadan.
Coming from the nutrition aspect of Ramadan, of fasting, that is why we say, that is why many of us struggle when we fast. Because when we fast, Mr. Nafeesa, you remember back home when we fast, all we want to do is just what? After eating, sleep. We just want to just.
We still do it here
We
too,
still do.
because it's
You just
time.
want to sleep because of the way you're feeling. You become lethargic. You have fatigue, extreme tiredness, and that is one thing people need to realize about nutrition or food. Food is not supposed to make us tired.
Hmm.
No, 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 no. Food is supposed to energize us because that is why we eat, to have nutrients, to have energy for the day. The moment you eat and you feel tired, there is a problem. It is either you are not eating the right nutrients. So that is one thing. Some of us that want to fast, this is what we need to do. We need to make sure that we are providing our immune system with the right nutrient. So we have three macros: the carbohydrate, the protein, and the fat. These are three macros. We call them macros because we need them in high proportion. And then we have our micros. So we have the vitamins and the minerals. We call them micro because we need them in smaller proportion, just small. So micrograms or so. And even aside fasting, have you ever noticed that, officer, that some people, some of us, when we put that place of a bar and we just eat, we just want to jump on that bed and sleep. Some of us go around while eating that food. And that is because we are providing simple carbs. Don't forget, our primary source of energy is glucose, sugar. And what is going to provide that is carbohydrates. So, which you need to know the type of carb that will provide the right energy. So we have simple carb, we have complex carbs. So many of us, we are just eating simple carbs, which is a problem. And that is why you notice that after 2 hours, you're hungry again. I just finished that again, bread and beans. Now in the next 2 hours, I'm hungry again.
And I'm not pregnant.
What is happening? That is it. Because you are not providing the right carb that will stay for a longer time, that you can sustain. We need sustainability when it comes to fasting. So complex carbohydrates instead of simple carbohydrates will provide satiety for you. Will push you, a few hours forward. So every couple of hours, you're not going to be drained, of energy, and then you just want to, your sugar level dips, and then you just want to sleep. So that is one area we need to focus on. Complex carbs. So, and what are the foods that is going to provide us with complex carbs? We have something like whole foods, whole grains, whole foods, whole grains. Whole, we call them whole foods because we eat them the way they come. Even when they are processed, they are minimally processed, not extremely processed. Something like brown bread. It is a whole. That is why you notice that they always write it on brown bread: whole meal, whole grains, whole these. Yes, because they still contain all of the parts that comes with the grain. So that is why they are called whole grains. So, however, it is not all brown bread that we see in store are actually whole grains, especially when it is cheap. You cannot see whole grain bread that is not adulterated. You cannot see that for 50p. You cannot see that for not even 99p, not even £1. So that is why you notice they use a lot of words: whole grains, whole meal, whole wheat. People don't even know the difference between all of these terms. Right. And those people actually know why they use those terms. So when they say old meal, they mean it can be a combination of a lot of grains. So it can be a little bit of wheat, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So they call whole meal. But when you see something like whole grains or whole wheat, you know it is pure wheat, 100% wheat. So, unadulterated. So these are the type of food that will provide you with satiety, that will make you fuller for a longer time. And what is going to make that happen is the presence of the fiber, the indigestible part of carbohydrates. That is why we say carb is different. If you eat white rice, the person that eats white rice and brown rice, if you eat brown, I eat white. I will be hungry. I'm going to be hungry in the next 2 hours. While you're still full of.
That is brown.
That is the brown rice. And another thing, if I eat 200 grams of white rice, and obviously you won't be able to finish 100 grams of white brown because of the presence of the whole grains. It provides satiety. You are going to be fuller in no time, so you will not need much. That is how you see people like yam, food like yam. By the time you eat few slices, 2, 3, you're already full up. It's because of the fiber in the yam. Whereas white rice, you see how some people can eat a good of white rice, so they will still say, "Oh, I'm not full up," because it is just simple carbohydrates. So that does not mean it is unhealthy. However, no. We're just talking about what is going to sustain you. Sustainability is what we should focus on when you're fasting. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to eat food like white bread and soda, a bottle of Coke, or let me just noodles. Let me just make one noodles or 2 noodles, and then you will become hungry in no time, because all these will be broken down in no time. There is no fiber in there. There is no resistant starch. There is nothing will provide satiety for you. So you want to add food. You want to add oatmeal food, whole grains. Then if you want to go on fruit, for example, if you want to add fruit, you need to make sure that you are not drinking juice. These are the mistakes we make. You see some of us, we fast like we want to go on feast, want to do or do. The same thing when we break. You see people, they set all these table juice, they are unnecessary. What we need is just to know the right thing that we need. So when you want to eat, you wouldn't want to add something like juice. Because what happens with juice is you're just drinking the sugar, the fructose of the fruit. All of the fiber, the indigestible parts of that sugar, you've taken it out. What juicing? You see those grains, when they juice, they throw out. That is the most important. Yeah, the shaft, the skin. That is what is going to provide satiety for you. So even if you want to have fruit whole. Eat that apple whole. Eat that banana whole. Eat that oranges and whatever whole. The way they come.
When you say whole, apples, for instance, apples do have seeds.
No, not with these seeds. Right. Just, as in like don't take
peel
the skin,
the back.
or don't juice it. Don't say apple juice. So
right,
when you see apple juice and fruit, pick the fruit, because fruit will provide you with more nutrients that will provide satiety for you, that will add more micronutrients for you, the fiber and everything. So
like orange, for instance, when you're eating orange, you eat the inside.
Exactly. You have to eat your orange with all the pulps and everything that we throw when you juice. No. So it's just a waste. You see people doing like detox juice, and you see them just throw fruit and vegetables in the juicer and they just get the water out and throw the rest out. No, we don't normally recommend. And that is why you see people that are doing weight loss. They are doing everything to them. Like, what happened? I'm not seeing results because you are not doing it in the right way. Imagine someone that is doing weight loss and she feels like she's doing something right. She's doing juicing every single day and the weight is not moving. And Sister Rodhiya, what is it? What am I doing? Even that is why I don't even take soda anymore. When I say, what happened? What are we doing? So Rodhiya, I don't even take soda. Okay, I don't even take Coke. Okay, what do you drink? So Rodhiya, no, I drink juice. I do juice. I say, okay, because to that person, juice is like healthier than soda. And to be honest, a little bit healthier because obviously micronutrients and all of that. But health-wise, you need to eat the fruit whole. You are only drinking sugar, fructose. You need to understand our brain does not recognize the source of nutrients. When you drink orange juice or you drink soda, the moment it gets into your brain feels like there's glucose there. Your brain cannot differentiate where that sugar is coming from. It cannot say, this sweetness is coming from honey. or it is coming from refined sugar. No, glucose is here, pick it and use it, that is it. So it is you that should provide, the right nutrients for the immune system. So that is why make sure you load up on food that are rich in indigestible parts of carbohydrates. We're talking about fiber. So
The examples of that?
yes, we're talking about like something like brown rice, then whole grain or whole wheat. You want to have bread. So, and even because we cannot say, oh, we have people that cannot have that do not have access to brown rice.
Yeah.
We have people that do not even have access to all this brown thing. That you see, I'm just speaking from the aspect of like, because this is Ramadan fasting. Naturally, there's no bad food in nutrition. No, you are eating brown rice does not mean you are healthier than me that is eating white rice. No, because they all have their places. Brown rice, as much as people feel it is healthier, there are negative sides to brown rice. So anything that comes whole, there are other sides, that you need to be actually be careful. We're talking about they contain more nutrients, but they contain more toxins because they've not been processed. You are eating them the way they come. So they have heavy metals concentrated on their skin that is not taken out. So you need to bear that in mind as well. So before you go and look at people that are eating white rice and feel like, white rice is not, no, white rice is equally healthy. However, in nutrition, the way you pair your food, there's something we call food pairing. Someone that wants to eat white rice, you can't just eat white rice alone. What are you combining? That is where your balanced diet comes in. You want to have white rice, what are you combining with that plate? You have vegetables, you have quality protein, you have fat. All these will impact how your insulin will take that sugar from rice oil. So when you eat white rice alone, you just put white rice in there and just eat. In the next 30, 40 minutes, it lands into your stomach, it's digested, your blood's taking up, it raises your blood sugar. But when you combine that white rice with quality protein, with nice fats, with vegetables, the sugar in that rice would not have free access to your blood because there are things that will slow that absorption down. So it is not about, oh, I'm eating white, you are eating brown sort of thing. No. So even if it is white rice you have access to, if it is brown, if it is whatever, we have people eating brown food that have metabolic syndrome, that have healthy chronic, inflammation. So it doesn't work like that in nutrition. Whatever it is that you want to eat, so there are a lot of things that you need to really put into consideration, not just like, no, I don't eat white, or they said we shouldn't eat this, we shouldn't. No food is off limits. No food is off limits in nutrition. No bad food. So I see people make lists of this dirty food. No, there's no dirty food. In fact, sometimes processing is necessary because when you process things, sometimes you remove the impurities, you remove the toxins that can harm your immune system. Okay, for example, look at our water. We see a lot of people in this country now, they'll say, oh, I don't drink tap water because it contains this fluoride, chlorine, all of this. It has to be filtered. It has to be, yes, it's true. However, during processing, there are a lot of heavy metals from the soil that have already traveled down without water, that if they do not process that water, it will harm you. So sometimes processing is actually necessary. So people should not feel like, oh, when something is processed, it's no, it doesn't work like that in nutrition. So, and before that, like before you eat, make sure you are hydrated. Hydration is another mistake we make when we are fasting. People do not hydrate enough. You
Like
see people
drinking
a lot of
enough
water.
water.
Yes. You see people, they pair their food with soda. You see them paired with tea, Milo, all of these. All of this will dehydrate you. All of this naturally will dehydrate you. So prior to the time that you want to fast, make sure you load up on water, fill up on your water. So by the time you eat, that will still, push you forward a bit, few hours. So it is not like when you are eating your food, we do not advise that the moment you are eating your food, you should be drinking water alongside. You are going to, have you ever noticed that, Nafeesa? When you're eating, by the time you have 2, 3 spoons and you start drinking water, you're full up already.
Yeah.
So that is why we don't drink water before you start eating, or you wait a few minutes after when you finish. And aside that the water will make you fuller for a long time, the water will dilute your stomach acid. It is important you allow digestion to take place. Stomach should remain acidic when you are eating so that your food can be broken down properly. So the moment you are drinking water alongside your food, you are diluting that HCl. You are diluting that stomach acid. So you are going to suffer something like indigestion, bloating, and stuff like that.
So you mean when we are eating, we shouldn't drink water at all?
No, except maybe you are choking, like when it is really, really necessary to do it. But don't make it an habit, like after 1 spoon, drink water. After you are diluting that stomach acid. That food will stay in your stomach for a very long time without digestion. That stomach must remain acidic. So that is why not even just water alone, any liquid at all, soda drink, coffee, tea, alongside your food, no. Have it maybe before you eat,
Okay.
or maybe after, after a couple of minutes, then you can drink.
Okay.
So make sure.
But that way, won't we eat too much out of greed, or we have to have the discipline to have a certain amount of portion of food? Because ideally, as Muslims, we should eat a certain amount of food, drink certain amounts of water, and also leave space for air.
Yeah, even aside Islam, even in nutrition, that is why there is a particular phrase we use: portion control. It is important. Portion control. And I don't blame people. We've all been there. Many of us do not even know that we have limits of what we are supposed to eat. Many of us do not know that you are not supposed to finish 1 cup of rice at a meal. You are exceeding your daily recommended intake of your carbohydrates. And that is not the only thing you're going to eat for the day. There's still going to be snack time. There's still going to be lunch. There's still going to be dinner.
Yes,
so portion control is important. So yes, you need to, for example, I understand even drinking water alongside your food will make you okay. Even if you're just supposed to eat like small bowl of rice and you've already drank all the water, you won't even be able to finish that rice.
Yeah.
You won't even be able to finish. So the moment you know that okay, this is a portion I'm supposed to eat, finish your food. You eat mindfully, you take your time. So then that is all you're having. So yes, sometimes when you drink water, but it's not like okay, load up on water. It's not like you are going to like drink like a 3 liters of water at a go. No. So because even water, you can actually go overboard on water. People feel like okay, what harm can water cause? Water can actually harm you when you overload on water. It will wash all of your electrolytes out. You are going to be running to the toilet every couple of hours. That is harming you because you are going to be taking your salt out. Your magnesium, your sodium, they are going out with water. So you become dehydrated, you want more water and all of that. So there is a limit. We just need to understand our limit when it comes to nutrition. So that is one thing, another mistake that people make. So make sure that even when you want to drink water, and this is for people that even when they fast, they're not at home sleeping. They need to go out for work. They need to, do like maybe exercise, or they need to walk around a lot. Maybe their daily job requires that they have to really be on the go and all of that. Don't just hydrate. You have to drink a liquid that contains electrolytes, because when you sweat, you are taking electrolytes out. So you can drink something like coconut water. That is a natural form of electrolyte. So that will sustain you. That will replenish you with the electrolyte that will be lost when you sweat, when you walk around and then you burn a lot of calories. So that is another way that you can replenish your system. Electrolyte. And if you are someone that doesn't have like blood pressure issue, you can do salt water. You can add a little bit of sodium, which is salt, maybe tiny, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon into your water before you drink. That, even when you sweat during the day, that will replenish your sodium. Because electrolyte is actually what is making us dehydrated, not the water. So the moment you are low on electrolytes, there will be problem. So that is how you see people like athletes, footballers. That water they drink on the field. It's not just water. They drink something like Gatorade. Yeah, they are.
And they only get
And they only get all of this and all of that
into
because that water has already come with electrolytes because they are running around, they are burning calories, they are sweating, so they are losing their electrolytes. So that water you see them drinking is replenishing the body with the electrolyte they lost while running around while sweating. So you see them drink like Gatorade, all of these, sports drinks and all, not the sugar-laden ones, but quality ones that contains electrolytes. So they've been fortified with electrolyte for them, so to replenish them. So that is another thing we can do. When you fast, you can drink something like coconut water, which contains electrolyte, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So to replenish your system, so to keep you going throughout the day. So, and another thing you can do is to make sure that you fill up on protein. I've said it. Many of us are eating, we do not even know the right thing to eat. You see people eating something like rice, like carb. Even back home, Nafeesa, our parents, they will not even give us meat. They will say, yeah, you're not supposed to eat you're not supposed to, all of these, it is just out of, because protein is needed. Protein. It takes a longer time for our immune system, for the digestive system to break protein down. That is why we recommend all of these during weight loss for people. You need food that will make you have satiety, that will not make you get hungry like every 2 to 3 hours. So protein is important. Meat, chicken, prawns, egg. So always add protein to that plate of food. In fact, our plate, this is how we balance. The half of your plate, if everything is 100%, 50% should come from vegetables, green leafy vegetables. So if you want to have that white rice, make sure you are having something like ugu, spinach, with some fish, the kale or something. Yeah, green leafy vegetables, steamed one, not raw. And just quickly steam it, with some pepper and add. Make sure that should take half of a bowl. Then quarter of a bowl, which is 25%, your carb. Then
rice.
Yes, and then the other quarter, your protein. It is so important. You have to balance your plate. So all this will allow you are having all of your micronutrients from your vegetables. The protein also is providing you with protein and some micronutrients as well, because from your meat, chicken, or whatever you're using, you're having iron, you're having vitamin B1, you're having your B12, all of this. It is important. So make sure you load up on protein. Do not eat without protein. Also fat. So when people hear the word fat, they are scared. Fat. No, 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 no. Fat is not a problem. We need fat. So, because fat is what is going to, in fact, that is why in nutrition, we have our vitamins. We have fat soluble vitamins. We have water soluble vitamins. We have vitamins that, in the absence of fat, they are not going to be absorbed. Imagine eating food that is rich in vitamin K. It's just sitting there in your stomach. There's no fat to facilitate its absorption. What is the point? So your vitamin A, D, E, K, they are the most important of our vitamins. but they cannot be absorbed in the absence of fat. So in case someone is scared of eating fat, but the problem is majority of us are eating unhealthy fats. What type of fat are you providing? Saturated fat, unsaturated fat, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. We have omega-3 fatty acids. What you provide is what matters. Anyone can eat, anyone can put food together, anyone can say, I know how to cook. What are you putting together? Are you doing it properly? So, fat does not necessarily mean like oil. That is one thing people need to get. You can get quality fat from fish. Look at mackerel, for example. Quality fat. Omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon fish, you see?
Mackerel is
Mackerel, yeah.
affordable.
And that is affordable. The titles, the one we call titles. Sardines. These are quality fat. So when we say fat, we are not telling you that ororo that we used to do pop or we used to do yakara and no, those ones are unhealthy fat. Even though many of us do it, including the speaker. But it is what it is. So yeah, frying things and frying, deep frying things, it's a no-go area. It should be a no-go area for all of us, trust me. So, avocado, look at that. Our seed and nuts, peanuts, cashew nuts, egusi, our egusi seed. Yeah, you cook that egusi, so egusi is so healthy. Yeah, with quality fat. So, we are blessed with food. We just need to understand what to do with them, and so that is what we are saying. When we say quality fat, don't think I'm talking about popofu that you deep fried you. Or bleached palm oil and all of these are the things we need to understand. Know that. Because that ayamase, that oil you use to cook that ayamase, you are not eating oil. You've destroyed it. You've rendered it useless. Because when you bleach oil, there's nothing to get. You've introduced carcinogens into that oil. And eating that continuously will definitely give you chronic inflammation. So we're talking about quality oil. In fact, when you go to the Nafeesa, they don't, you see them when they do that, their salad, they just drizzle some olive oil on it because these quality oils are supposed to be consumed raw like that. When you heat them, you destroy their nutrients. And when they want to fry that, their egg, you see them, they just do three eggs with that olive oil, and the next 2-3 minutes, they are done. They are not going to be there and be cooking. We are going to be bleaching oil for 30 minutes. We are still going to be cooking that yamase for another 1 hour. You've destroyed everything. So we've already destroyed everything. That's to say, that is why we say we are all eating. Are you just eating deliciously or nutritiously? Nutrition should be your purpose, should be the focus. The purpose of eating is to get nutrients. And the moment the food you are eating will not provide you with those nutrients, there is no point. So focus on quality food, quality fat. You don't have to fry. In fact, we do not recommend frying things. Fry that dodo. And want to eat, fry this, fry that, everything.
Grill.
Yes, you can just grill. Or that is it. Or air fry or something like that. I will cut back on that oil. Because when you fry, you have introduced toxins into that oil. And many of us as an officer, we are not going to use that oil for months. We are going to keep the same oil we reuse again. You use it to do akara today. The next day you fry meat. The same oil. The next day you fry puff in it. That is the problem. We are not supposed to do all of that. Especially with seed oils, hydrogenated oils. So we cannot do that with olive oil, for example. Who is going to be deep frying with olive oil? Quality extra virgin olive oil. You cannot deep fry in it. It's even expensive. You wouldn't even want to do it. You know how much they sell 500 ml bottle of quality olive oil. It's so expensive.
Talking about olive oil, if I may ask, what's the difference? Extra virgin olive oil, olive oil, virgin olive oil.
There's a huge difference because
That's a question. I
Yeah.
don't want us to digress, but
okay,
I
yeah,
just if you
it's
can
it's
later on.
the quality. When we call some oil cold pressed oil, like our coconut oil.
Yeah.
You know our mamas back home, Nafeesa, when you want to get that oil from coconuts,
I don't
cold pressed, no quality oil, no heat.
know.
No heat. You shouldn't introduce heat to oil. That is the problem. There are
Right.
polyphenols, there are flavonoids, there are antioxidant properties that are so sensitive to heat that the moment you put heat, you destroy them. So that is why they call that one extra virgin, which means cold pressed, no heat. So the same thing with our coconut oil as well. Cold pressed coconut oil. Quality, that these are the type of oil that will provide you with nutrients because no heat has been introduced to them. So so I see people do DIY things and say, oh, I'm making homemade coconut oil, and you see them when they do all of this, they put it on the fire, they fry, they get it. That is useful for your hair, for your body, for the skin, yes, but not
To eat.
not to eat because we are not getting any nutrient from that. You've destroyed it. So that is why cold pressed will be so expensive. Imagine how many coconuts and that will be prepared
have
cold
to
pressed to
press,
even,
yes,
to even have
yeah.
500 mil.
Yeah.
So it's going to be expensive. So that is the difference between that. So and cold pressed oils are not supposed to be heated, especially at high temperatures. You know, we cook our own food at high temperatures.
Yeah.
We cook that jollof rice. We
Even the
deliberately
meat.
we deliberately even increase the
heat.
heat to put the smoke. All these are toxic.
Smoky
Anything producing
spicy jollof
smoke,
rice.
yes, anything producing smoke. It's like smoking. If you condemn people smoking, you are not supposed to be eating food with smoke.
But the white people most of the time when they cook, they add a bit of alcohol and then
Yeah, they put it's a, that's people say, oh, but yeah, it's not even doctors, kind of officer. They don't understand nutrition, except the doctors that are practicing holistically, that study functional medicine. But you see, our contemporary doctors, they are not trained in the line of nutrition. That is why you see a doctor telling someone with high cholesterol to stop eating egg. In fact, they just tell them, don't eat egg, because egg contains cholesterol. I said, yeah, I said, yeah, but doctor, my doctor said I should not eat egg. It contains, you see, because they do not understand nutrition. They do not understand that there are types of cholesterol, and the type of the cholesterol we have in egg is actually HDL, the quality one.
that's why sometimes when you tell people at least you're okay
Mm-hmm.
to eat 2 eggs and they're like,
Mm-hmm. They'll
no.
say, no, you
Especially boiled egg.
you see, especially boiled egg, it is healthy. Yes, it contains cholesterol, but healthy one. If it is not healthy for us, the God that puts it in there will not. Nature is healing. We just need to know how to do it properly. So that is that. So when I see people say, oh, doctors say, oh, don't do this, I say, okay, no problem. That is why people that have got cholesterol, the doctor say, oh, yeah, be on cholesterol medication, statins. I said, your doctor does not ask you that, what are you eating? You can lower this by just changing your lifestyle. You do not even have to jump on that medication. You see doctor saying, you have to be on that high blood pressure medication or that diabetes. Or it cannot be reversed. You have to be using medication forever. For what? No, because these people do not understand nutrition. They do not understand that it is your lifestyle that gives you that problem. Changing your lifestyle can actually also what? Take you up that situation. So that is that. Then I've spoken about fiber. It is important. So, have something like nuts. We have peanuts, we have cashew nuts. You don't have to look for almond nuts if you don't have nuts. They are almost the same thing. Peanuts is cheap, almond, anything. And we have seeds. We have sunflower seeds, we have all of these things, anything that is available to you, especially back home, we that's why with nutrition, the local the better. Don't be looking for any international food like, oh, eat broccoli. Right there, eat what is available to you. It doesn't matter.
Like what seeds are good for, like we can easily access.
Access,
I
yeah.
know peanuts
To be
is
honest, back home, because I am not actually on ground back home, when I talk about food, I find it difficult sometimes and to even be able to recommend because I'm not really that local back home to really know and see things myself, and so it's like
I
here now we
know
can
we
say
have
sunflower seed,
cashew.
we can say chia seed, we can say
Yeah.
flax seed, all of this. But back home, I'm not really equipped with that, you know.
Well, at least we have
Yes, we
peanuts,
have
we
peanuts,
have
we have
cashew
cashew
nuts.
nuts, so and then
Um,
we have a lot of fruit as well. Then for breaking our fast, that is the major problem with us. We break our fast like we want to feast. We don't have to do that. And that is why when prophets recommend that
Sallallahu
Safalam eating dates, when we break our
break our
fast,
fast.
wallahi, alhamdulillah for Islam, wallahi, because date is so healthy. It contains complex sugar and fiber. Because we have been fasting, you have denied your body glucose. Prophet Muhammad said, the moment you break your fast, provide glucose immediately to replenish your body. That is the logic behind having dates
And
first
milk, water.
and drink water. Don't jump on food. Replenish your body with that sugar you have already denied, you've lost. Quickly do that to give you quick energy because that is what sugar does. It gives you quick energy. So you break with something like dates, or if you don't have access to dates, you can have fruit, whole fruit. We have watermelons, we have pineapple, we have apples, we have fruits back home. We have something like agbalumo, healthy quality fruit, high in vitamin C, high in anti-inflammatory properties. So,
Back home,
in
we have
fact,
too
back
many.
home we have too many.
Fresh,
Yes.
fresh. That's too
So
many.
that is that. And then when you want to eat, also make sure you provide quality protein, not carb. So not something like white bread and butter and then Milo. Mm-mm. All of that,
And
there's
a lot
no,
of
and
ice.
hey, all of that, there's no nutrients in there. So then another quality fat people can have is butter, not margarine, because what we eat, what many of us think is butter is actually butter. We are actually eating margarine. We're talking about butter, the animal source, of fat. Margarine is made out of plant-based oils, seed oils. So it is not a butter. So we recommend butter. So that is another quality fat you can add. You can do that white rice kind of visa and just put some butter and coconut oil. Just you take your spoon, put some in fat. It's nice. It's okay. So that is one thing. Make sure when you fast, eat quality food and don't go too much. Don't go overboard. Don't say, that food I did not eat for 16 hours. I'm eating everything at a go.
We have one plate of rice,
Yes,
and
do that.
for if
Mhm.
for suhoor we
And
want to
also
eat
make sure you
enough.
prioritize sleep. That is one thing. Because when we sleep, Stanofisa, two things happen. Let me just talk about one. There is something we call lymphatic, drainage. We have lymphatic system. It is when we sleep that our lymphatic system is activated because it needs to drain all of the toxins that we've accumulated throughout the day. So you have to be in deep sleep for that healing to happen. So when you fast, anytime you have the time to just have a couple of minutes, nap or the first part of the night, you need to sleep. Don't say, oh, I'm going to wake up, but I don't have to sleep. Mm-mm. Do not deliberately skip your sleep. Make sure you sleep to replenish your body, to allow that total healing to happen. Allow your lymphatic, system to drain all of the toxins out. While sleeping, our brain is working, the heart is working, the lungs as well. So all this, your immune system, your kidneys, filtering your blood, getting all of the waste, your liver, doing detoxification of all of the dirt, all of the pathogens, that should be accumulated during the day. Make sure you sleep so that your body can do that healing. So that by the time you wake up, then when you go and pee or something like that, you can have all of the toxins being expelled out of your body. So prioritize sleeping as well. Anytime you can. I know it is not easy, like you have to go for work and all of that, come back late, I know. But when you have the time to do it, don't say it is not necessary. It is important. Sleep. So that is one thing that will make fasting also easier for you. Then, Nafeesa, let me quickly talk about the people with diabetes before I go, because it is important. Because we've seen questions even say, "Oh, I have diabetes, blood sugar issue," because they feel dizzy. All of these things comes with hypoglycemia. Brain fog, dizziness, fatigue, and all of that, lethargic. So, how can they still benefit from fasting? So, before, make sure you see your healthcare provider. Make sure you're certified to fast. Don't just say, "Oh, yeah, I can go on with it." No. They understand your body at this moment because they handle things for you now. They've been able to see on a deeper level, if you can do so. Make sure you see your doctor. And if you have diabetes or you have issue with low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, there's something you need to get, which is the continuous glucose monitor. If you still want to fast, get continuous glucose monitor. Always monitor your blood sugar. The moment you know you're getting low, it is something you cannot do. You're not like, "Oh, no, you can't go with it," because you will collapse. Or you will. So that's it. If you know you want to get involved, get continuous glucose monitor that can monitor your blood sugar every single time and notify you if you are low or if you're still there. And so make sure you put all of these precautions in place before you jump on it. Don't hurt yourself, because even Allah, Allah exempted a lot of people, from fasting. So, and we need to understand that. So, and then the caffeinated, I've mentioned it. While fasting, don't, if you struggle with caffeinated drinks, I know it's going to be hard. Fasting is still hard for people that are used to coffee, soda, and all of these. You need to really work on that. It should be a no-go area while fasting, trust me, because it is going to dehydrate you. It is going to deplete your essential nutrients as well. Anything with refined sugar will deplete you of your essential nutrients. It won't allow them to be absorbed into your blood. And your cell tissues are waiting for these micronutrients to come. So stay away from carbonated drinks. So stick with water and just do your best. Allah will accept everything for us, and then there's nothing we can do. We can't get it right all the time. So yes. I don't know, some of say that's okay. So if we still have time, and then
Yes, I think we should stop here for now and see if people have questions. There's a lot. Our guest speaker said a lot. I minuted some things I actually forgot, and we need to start an interactive section. If you have a question, and please ring to the studio. The studio number is 079-8323-9799. We've been talking about preparing ourselves physically and emotionally for Ramadan. As Ramadan is coming, there's a lot of things we are likely going to forget. These are things that are very important to our body system, because we want to fast and we want to be happy. So many things we forget, and these are things that are very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us. He doesn't want to stress us, and we as an ummah have a responsibility to encourage ourselves and to educate ourselves. We've not said anything about the Quran. We're just talking about things our body need. It's one thing for you to be spiritually connected, but you need a body to function as well. So our talk today is based on what we need to do for our body to function properly so we can actually get the best out of the Ramadan uh, we are waiting for. And we know that everybody wants to do things in Ramadan, but you need to know yourself. You need to know what to eat. You need to know when to sleep, what you need to drink, what portion, and X Y Z. So for any of us who have any question or you have any contribution, the studio is line is open 07982 07983 239 799 is the studio number for you to call and ask any question. Right, I have while we are waiting for our audiences to call, I would like you to give us an example of what to eat, for instance, for suhoor, and also preparing what to prepare for iftar or what to eat for iftar. You can give us like two different examples, for instance, um, and then because most of us, I don't want to give example. I want you to cite examples for us what we can eat and is good for us for suhoor and also for iftar. Just if you can give us two practical examples. As we are Africans, we go to shops, we know things that we have access to. Thank you.
Okay. Like I said, there's no bad food, but how you combine your plates is what is important in nutrition. So let me myself as a case study. I especially sometimes we struggle to even say what am I going to cook every single day to
Yeah.
be going and buying things. We struggle even myself. So I don't want people to look at me and feel like, oh, maybe I do everything under the door. No, I struggle as well. Sometimes mentally I'll be drained thinking about what am I going to cook now? What am I going to do? That is why there's no harm in repeating food. You saw Igbo people stand officer. They eat oatmeal every that single morning for their breakfast. With that, they are scrambled egg. It is like constant. They don't have problem eating it. We are the one that will say, no.
You mean porridge, right?
I mean like the oats porridge they make in the morning and then they just do or their English breakfast. Their English breakfast where they do scrambled egg and all of that.
Toast.
Yeah. We are the one that have got issue with hey, I had rice yesterday. Am I going to have rice again? We had it yesterday. What am I doing? So, to be honest, it's so hard for me saying because I don't know what is accessible to people or what is available to people. But myself as a case study, for example, white rice. Let me give an example. White rice is healthy, and I want people to know white rice is one thing we all can incorporate into our food. You just need to learn the proper way of doing it. Cook your white rice and put in the fridge. We are not supposed to eat white rice immediately we cook it while it's still hot. Yes, because it has been processed. It is different from brown rice. We need to build what we call resistant starch. You need the one that is still in that brown rice, the fiber. We've taken it out in white rice. Brown rice and white rice, it is just the outside layer. It's been taken out, milled. It's been milled to take all of that out. So there is a way we can build one in white rice. And that is by cooking it and preserving it. Cool it. It has at least 8 hours to 12 hours. Put it in the fridge overnight. Let it cool down completely. The longer it takes to cool down, the more resistant starch you build. And that will not make your white rice to be absorbed quickly into your blood. It is not going to ratio. You can do the practical. This is something we've done in college. One group, they had already prepared white rice immediately. We have the second group, the one that has been cooled for 12 hours. And when they use continuous glucose monitor, the one that actually ate the one that has been cooled for 12 hours, they do not have their blood sugar raised. It will not spike the blood sugar.
Yeah, but you are still, when it's in the fridge is cold and you're still going to warm it.
Yeah, that is it. Because reheating would not harm resistant starch. It is a fiber. In fact, fiber is so rock-headed that something that the digestive system cannot break. It bypasses digestion. That is why you call it roughages. That is why you see some people when they eat beans, corn, when they go to the toilet to defecate, have you ever noticed some of these kids? They actually, the skin of the beans can actually come out
Yeah.
whole.
Mhm.
You see all of
And
these
the corn
roughages
as
from the
well.
corn can
Yeah.
come out. That is how strong they are. That is how resistant they are to digestion. Digestive system cannot break them down. And that is what will feed our gut lining. That is what keeps our colon, healthy. So white rice is something that is accessible to all of us. Do your white rice, but make sure you pair it with like protein. You can do some chicken breast. That is what I always do. That Chinese, fried rice.
Mm.
That is why you see Chinese people, they do their fried rice. They always use, they call it leftover rice. So I always preserve my rice in the fridge, and then I take it out in the morning, and then I just do some scrambled egg, some diced breast chicken that I've already marinated, and just shallow fry. Then add vegetables. It is important. Always combine your food with vegetables. Even when you're having potato, you can do your potato boiled one. Do some egg on the side for nice protein. You can use some cold pressed coconut oil to just shallow fry. I'm not talking about deep frying. How we do our own. We do this egg. The oil will be every. Shallow fry a little bit, and then and then you can just add some steamed, spinach, broccoli, exactly, carrots, bring all of this, just steam a little bit, add to the side. That is okay. And even our own Niger food gone with eba. There's nothing eba is good. Amala is good. Inyo is good. Our efori roll. Just practice portion control. Imagine someone that is eating a fried goosey with inyo. That is healthy food. That is, we are talking about quality, food. Fiber is in there. And then we have our egusi. The problem is we overcook. Maybe we cook it for like 1 hour. Everything destroy all of the vitamins in there and all of that. So
if you're
just
boiling,
yeah, we
boil meat, for
Mhm.
instance, for about 20-30 minutes.
Mhm.
Then we start cooking our stew, the vegetables, tomatoes, and everything. We'll cook that one. Then we'll now
Then
put the
put all of these in.
the protein. Then we'll cook again for another
That
15
is
minutes.
it. The longer we cook, the less nutrients we get. Because heat destroys, nutrients. So that is why if you are doing that, when I'm doing my effort, egusi, I don't do frying method. I don't fry my egusi. I don't fry anything. When I'm done with everything, I just add my spinach. In fact, it is the steam
Now cook
that will
the
just go
egusi.
there. That is it. So the temperature would have become so low, so you will still retain. The moment you do your vegetable and you cannot retain the green color, the normal color, you destroyed it. You have to retain their original color. Your vegetable should still retain that green color, and your carrots still that orange color. So you just need to steam it a little bit. So I can do something like that, and then if Niger food, anything that is available, just don't go overboard and do balance. Anything you eat, even when you are not combining vegetable with your plate for your snack, for your side, you can just do that as a side. You can do some fruits and vegetables as a side. Don't eat together. Don't eat food together with your food because of the acidic. It is acidic. That will impact a lot of absorption going on. So that's why so Igbo people they have this dessert time, main time, this time three, the hand. So there's a time to eat this, there's a time to do they won't combine everything. So that is it. That is the logic. So you can just have a snack. For example, when you break your fast, you can just add some cucumber. You can slice some cucumber in the fridge already, when you fast. So you can do some cucumber, just add it as a snack and boiled egg. You can do boiled egg, not junk. Junk food will not satisfy us. It won't even do anything. So not like crepes, chin, all of these,
Meat pie.
meat pie, pop off, all of this. They should be occasional. They should be occasional. Trust me. Cakes and all of that. Yeah, you can do something. You can even bake. You can do oats, banana oats cake at home, and just mix some all these things here. And just mix some oats and mash the banana. Add some baking soda, tiny bit. If you have cinnamon, spice it up, and then throw in the oven. Bake something nice. In fact, get some nuts. Top it up with some peanuts, almond nuts, any nut that is available to you. You can use that even when you wake up to eat. in the morning, if you cannot do the rice, you can actually have something like that and water and have some fruit with it.
Wow,
Or
milk.
fruit.
Milk.
Milk, yes, fresh milk. You can put some fresh milk in the, yes, exactly, because milk contains, micronutrients as well. So except with people that have got like lactose intolerance that I can't do it, because if you drink milk, you see, you're going to produce a lot of gas throughout the day, and that will actually impact a lot of things. So aside that, exactly. So like me, I don't even wake up and eat it. Kind of, I don't eat because I don't even feel by the time, because that is why the majority of people, when we wake up, we don't feel hungry. It is because of our circadian rhythm, because the melatonin kò tí ì wear off tán, oorun ṣì wà ní gbogbo ojú, gbogbo immune system ṣì shut down, ìní ń lọ lọ́wọ́, ẹnu èèyàn gan ò ní là, your mouth will not be open to eat like the people say, it's none of that. So it is not our fault. The circadian rhythm has not been completed. That is why it is important for that first part of the night to sleep. But it is hard, even for us here, especially that something. It's shy, 11 something. Then by 2 it's going to come before you know it. What time do you even have to sleep? Many of us, we are preparing for that sorrow to even come. We are cooking, we are preparing, no time to even sleep. All of that will impact things for us during the day. So any opportunity that you have, sleep, have a nap, and then, so yeah, eat anything that is available to you, trust me. Just don't go overboard. Don't eat 2 plates of eba and you think that will give you satiety. It will mess your immune system up. And at the end of the day, you feel frustrated. You won't even be able to concentrate. So stay within your limits. All of us have calories we're supposed to consume for the day. 2,000 for women. Some may need lower than that if they want to lose weight. Some may need more than that. It depends on so many other things. And for men, 2,500 calories, because they have more muscle to burn, so they need more calories than us. So when you know your limits, you will know eating 2 cups of rice at a go it should be a no-go area for you. Eating a whole 800 grams of agege bread should be a no-go area. So, or eat assorted. Assorted, all of these things we just combine. By the time you look at some plates, you're already looking at 4,000 calories. I look at some plates when people say I'm eating.
And Coke.
Yeah, and they had another 250 more from 1 million size Coke. I just think like, oh my God. And to this person now, this person, this is a sign of affluence. They're like, it's a jaye. I said, no, you don't. So, you have to make it simple. You have to make it simple. Quality nutrients is what we need. Quality is not about how much you eat. In fact, nutrition is so funny that 1 small cup of peanuts, 100 grams of peanuts, yeah, the calories in there is more than that of the one in 2 cups of rice, because it is fat, quality fat. So it is higher in calories, quality fat, but it is higher. So imagine someone that is just eating peanuts and you say, what are you eating? This is not going to need you, because the person feels you still have to have that big bowl of eba and rice before you can have satiety. No. So it is the quality that matters. So anything that is available to people, just walk your way around what is available to you. If it is pasta that you have, want to cook that pasta with some stew, add some vegetables to eat, cut some cucumbers, some carrots, but you have to steam your carrots. You don't eat carrots raw. You don't eat carrots raw. Even vegetables, spinach, kale, don't eat these things raw. They come with anti-nutrients. So that can be toxic. So that is why we recommend that steam them, just a couple of minutes, just in hand. So add, that is okay. To be honest,
what about yogurt?
Of course, yogurt is so healthy. These are the quality protein. Greek, not the sugar-laden yogurt. Greek yogurt, for example, or unsweetened yogurt. But you can have, don't have fat free. Don't say, oh, I'm scared of fat free. Anything that promises you fat free, don't go there. It is a business style. People need to understand. When people reduce fat, they add more sugar for you. So which one is better? So that is why you won't see somebody like me buying fat-free milk, fat-free yogurt, fat-free dairy, full fat. Full fat. There's nothing wrong with fat. It's needed.
Just have to be the right.
That is just have to be the right one. Yeah. So yeah, like that one. Hey, you can have something like Greek yogurt. In fact, there's one thing I do when I want to break my fast. Some Greek yogurt in a bowl, then 1 tablespoon of honey, just add it to it to sweeten if it is Greek yogurt, because some people they want something like sweet. So don't buy sweetened one. When you get home, do it so that at least you know what you're putting in it. You know that okay, this is by myself. And then add nuts. I always use peanuts. Oh my god, I love it. And just sprinkle some peanuts on it. That's it.
I've tried with blueberries.
Yes, you cannot exactly. You can add blueberries, strawberries, and all of that. That is it. That is also
banana will be nice as well.
Yeah. So you can exactly Nafeesa. So those one people thinking of simple food. No, they are not simple. When you break them down, quality for quality, they contain quality nutrients. So that is it. For example, when you see someone eating a bun or rice or something, I just see someone eating Greek yogurt and someone you feel like whereas quality you can't compare them. So that is it. So
another one, I just to add to what you said, that I've noticed someone else do, one of our grandmas do. Anytime she makes white rice, she boils prawn into it.
you see, that is more protein in there.
Yeah, so she would add prawn to her white rice.
That is it.
I'm like, why does she do that? Well, she said, well, it's really actually it's a very good way to garnish your white rice.
That is it.
So, and when you do that, like you said, you can have this chicken breast as well, diced into it.
And that is why you have something like fried rice. There's another, we have fried rice in a way where we have vegetables and prawns and chicken and all of that. To be honest, eat whatever. I don't, even when I'm doing shows, when it becomes food, I don't normally recommend that, oh, eat this, don't eat that, because I eat all of this. I eat my ogbono, eba, semo, Nafeesa, oatmeal, oatmeal. You can even do like it's that's a swallow. That's one thing you can use. Blend your oats to do your oat swallow. Exactly, because gari is simple sugar. It's a simple carb. It will digest in no time. But oatmeal, complex carbs. There's fiber in them.
Plantain.
Exactly, green plantain. These are the ones that will provide you with quality carbohydrates. Complex ones that will be so hard for your digestive system to break down, because of the resistant starch in them. So if you want to have something like swallow, you can do like green plantain because of the fiber in there. You can do oatmeal, which is oat swallow. These ones are, So, and then just say, in fact, okra soup, best soup. Okra, you can do your ilala sepo and add your fish and everything, and it's fine.
Mackerel.
And so, just make it simple. You don't have to do this and do that and fry this and fry that before people know. Let's be simple.
Allah in His infinity mercy reward you abundantly. I think we've got into the time whereby we have to finish the program. We need to go home. It's been an amazing day. I've learned a lot, and you've reminded me a lot of things that I need to put into consideration. And I can't wait to have my coconut water. Not the processed one. At least coconut is
not
cheap.
Not the store-bought one.
Cheap.
Because the store-bought one, no.
It doesn't even taste nice anyway. So
there is a filler in there. There's
even
preservatives and all of these, and even the colors and all of these things. So break that coconut and bring the water.
Back home, there's nothing like back home.
Except there is an exception with coconut water, though. The people with kidney disease issue, because of the high potassium in coconut water. So we don't normally recommend people with kidney issues, because they are already high in all of this nutrient. The kidneys are struggling already to actually filter all of this. So we don't add more. So coconut water should be taken with caution or not even go there with people with kidney disease because it is high in potassium.
Yeah. And
So
if you're
that
pregnant, if you have any health issues,
mhm.
it's better to check with your doctors what you
Check.
can
Yes,
eat,
yes.
what you can drink, and what you
Mm-hmm.
cannot drink. These are
Yeah.
really
Always
important
check
things.
with your healthcare provider if you are exempted, you know. So yeah, don't say we shall have to. Even people with ulcerative colitis, back home we all do it. Even some of us that have ulcer will say, I must have fast.
I have to
Don't, don't, don't,
fast,
don't.
yeah.
Even though, yes, food is not the root cause of ulcer. So there's no problem if someone that has got ulcer want to fast because food has got nothing to do with it. Yes, some food can actually, make things worse and all of that. But that time will even make it easier for your gut lining to rest because gut lining, your stomach lining, is destroyed, the stomach acid is coming. So when you are not eating, your stomach acid is not coming in there. So that is a good thing for people with ulcer. So food has got nothing to do with ulcer. Like, you that have ulcer, how can you eat? Because they feel like, oh, you have to be eating every few hours. No, because food has got nothing to do with ulcer. It is not, you say, if you don't eat, you have ulcer. No, if you don't eat, that doesn't mean ulcer is a virus. It's H. pylori. It's a type of virus that causes that, gastritis and then your stomach lining destroying. So it's not food. So even with ulcer, you can still fast, and that would
If
even
if
but
you
if
can,
you can,
but
yes,
if you know it's not
Mhm.
something you can do,
Yes,
there's no go
yes.
area.
Like you're on
Right.
medication.
Mhm.
Like people, if you are on medication and then you need to take your medication, so just make sure you check with your healthcare provider first, and
Oh,
then
yeah. My line is infinity mercy. Accept the little we've said and continue to guide us all right. Try to encourage ourselves, prepare our minds, and um, uh, I forgot. I want to use a word I can't remember. We'll come today just to help and support each other to remind ourselves what we should be eating for Ramadan, and we need to start now. What we should be eating so that when the Ramadan, at the start of Ramadan, we'll have a lot of our body would have been used to the new things we'll be eating in our body. These are really healthy things we actually be eating. Actually, yes, like Sister Rodhiya said, when you eat oatmeal and okra or you eat oatmeal and vegetable or egusi soup, it's actually really nice. You feel good in yourself. Or when you do, I know it's very simple. What you need is you have two ways if you want to make oatmeal. You can soak it, blend it like that, then put it in a pot and stir. Or you can even blend it dry.
dry.
And when your water is boiled, you put it in, you stir it together, and it will form the paste. So that's another. The same one with the green bananas. The green bananas you can blend it dry, or you can add water depending on how you want it. You can hydrate it if you want it dry. I like to blend it with water. So as soon as I finish, I just tip it into a
Okay,
pot,
you mean the
and then
fresh
the green one.
yeah,
Yes,
it's true. It's true.
I'll just buy from the
Oh,
shop.
I'm
It's
only
very
thinking about
cheap.
the
The
powdered
powder,
one.
yeah, it's very cheap. I'll just buy
Mm-hmm.
the cheap
Yes,
the the banana itself, the green
itself,
one
the green
itself.
one, yes.
It's actually cheap. I think three for maybe £2. I'm sure you can. It's really cheap. So I'll just cut it into pieces into the blender. I add some water, I blend
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah,
I'll
and then
tip it
just
into a
do
bowl
it like a
and
mala.
just I do it like amala. Very nice and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things we should try to be eating. If you want to eat it, but if you want to eat in your, if you want to eat in your, it's good to eat good in your because we have pounded yam. There are
Not no,
different
not
types
even
of
at
in
it's
your.
a
You
no
can
area.
even buy your yam
Yeah, that's what I do.
3.99 or £4 yam. Just cut it
Mm-hmm.
into pieces. It's quite easy
Cook
to do all
and
these
then
things.
put it in food processor.
Or in
In
food
1 minute, your
processor,
is
yeah.
ready.
And if you want to eat lafu, you want to eat amala, all these things are good, and you just have to, have the portion control.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things we need to remind ourselves about, so we can eat good and we can eat well. Because when we eat the right food, it helps us. We get that energy we need to sustain during Ramadan, and also when we, it also helps us to release the good hormones that because food, emotion, resting, and all these things come together. So when you are fasting, you can be cranky. You should not be cranky. So, but when you've not had enough rest, if you've not eaten the proper meal, the body, you might not even understand your body system. So when you have to eat the right food at the right time, and try not to overeat, because like sister said, when you eat too much for suhoor, maybe after a couple of hours you use the toilet and that's it. It's all gone. You're gonna feel hungry. So that's why I like to take yogurt a lot in the morning. It does sustain. No matter what I eat, if you take yogurt, you can even have cereal. You can fast with cereal, and that will still sustain you. Remember, if you eat cereal, the whole grains, for instance, and with milk, that would sustain you. Then you drink water. Try to drink. It's difficult to drink the amount of water. Normally, recommended
Like
daily drink is 2 liters.
yeah.
But it's really difficult to drink that 2 liters. When you break your fast, you drink a certain amount of water, then you drink in between. Not You don't have a big gulp at the same time. So you drink in between before you go to bed. Try as much as possible to drink that 2 liters of water.
That is why you
All
have to
those
start
things
having your water all the time before you eat.
before
So
you
can,
eat.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Like
after
maybe
you
when you
eat,
wake up, you want to do your prayer or something after
drink
brushing
a
or
bit
something,
of
drink
water.
some water and
Yeah.
then to replenish yourself, prepare yourself for that.
Exactly. Exactly. So all those things are really important to help us through Ramadan. We have to stop here now. It's been a wonderful time talking to you about food, which is really important. Food, food, food. We need this for our body. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to look after this body He has given us. So we have to look after our body and eat the right things, sleep well, and also drink enough water to help us sustain during Ramadan. So when it's time, at least 30 minutes to Ramadan, to breaking our file to iftar, we don't want to talk. It's just because we've not gotten the right nutrient from the food we've eaten. We feel tired, we feel exhausted. And like I said last week, Ramadan is a very good time for you to go on annual leave. So you don't overstress yourself. Be able to make up for the sleep you miss, because there's no how. It's actually difficult when you break your fast 9 p.m. What are you going to eat? If you eat a little, when you finish eating, then you want to sleep around 3 o'clock, or 3 o'clock sometimes, for you're up again. So because we have breaks in our sleeps, we don't have that, we can't get that 8 hours of sleep. So the body will definitely ask for it. During the afternoon, you might feel very tired. If you can take breaks during your work time, your lunch break, you can do your solar, you can do a bit of tilawat to Quran, then you can take a nap, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. If you have someone, you can actually sleep. All these things do help. Then make sure you do ablution always. The more you do ablution, you feel calm. Your body will feel calm. So, and make sure you eat the right food. Milan is infinity mercy continues to get as a right. Almost everything is expensive now. Almost everything is expensive. It's gone up at least 30% increase everything we do. Kilashi, we still have to eat. Life continue. So let's not do excessive shopping now that Ramadan is coming. Only buy little. Most of the time, I'm showing you some fridge going teenager, so it end up being a waste. So this is a time whereby cost of living has risen. So let's only buy the little we need to eat, and let's remember those people that don't have. That is one of the key reasons why we fast anyway. So we cannot eat everything. It's just try to manage ourselves and try our possible best to eat good food. Eat good food is very important, and drink well, rest as much as you can. May Allah is infinity mercy accept from all of us. This is a very big thank you to Mr. Rodhiya for coming all the way to the studio. Honestly, I didn't believe she was going to come until I saw her. So I really appreciate you. May Allah is infinity mercy accept. He's a Sadaqah Jariyah from you and from all of us as well, Bismillah. May Allah is infinity mercy count us among those that will reach Ramadan. Allahumma baligh Ramadan. May Allah grant us all the ease and everything we need for us to have a successful Ramadan, inshallah, and we will come together to celebrate Eid in goodness, with family and everything, bi'Iznallah. So see you again next week, inshallah. Please help us to share this video with your friends and family. It is a very well detailed information we have here. So sit down, rewind, pause. I have a lot I've written down, and she reminded me of a lot of food I actually wasn't thinking about. So I'm going to do I'm actually going to do like a Ramadan, like food timetable, what to eat and when. This is really important. This is going to help us as well. What to eat and when. So we can mix food. What we eat today for iftar is not what we're going to eat tomorrow for iftar. So we can mix and match things and push things around. And remember to encourage the children as well as we are going. We have to be talking to them about Ramadan and also encourage them to fast and with us if they can. We just have to teach them how to do things. We learn intimacy, accept from all of us. I mean, Jazakallah khairan jaza for coming on today's program and sharing a wealth of knowledge with us. May Allah and infinity mercy accept from all of us. So we'll meet you again next week, inshallah, on our program Sunnah Self-Esteem. May Allah and infinity mercy preserve us beyond then. By next week, we have less than maybe 5 days or less, maybe 5 or 6 days to Ramadan, inshallah, by next week, Friday. And we ask Allah to preserve us till we meet again then. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Ilalia mami, inshallah. Ilalia mami, inshallah. Àwa tá ń tẹ̀lé tí òjíṣẹ́ ńlá. Iwájú làwa ò máa lọ, a ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Sunnah and Self-Esteem, ara ọ̀tọ̀. Ètò ìrora ẹni lágbára, ìgbéra ẹni níyì ti wà lórí afẹ́fẹ́ báyìí o. Ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ lórí iléeṣẹ́ wa, Naija 101.1 FM. Láti aago 6 títí di aago 8 àṣálẹ́. Láti ṣe olùgbọ̀wọ́ ètò yìí, ẹ kàn sí wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa 077 690 51172 077 690 51172. New Era and Sunnah and Self-Esteem, your educative, empowerment and development program. Fridays on Naija 101.1 FM, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For sponsorship, please contact us on 077 690 51172 077 690 51172. You can send us an email, ss.esteem@gmail.com. We are on Facebook. Check us on Facebook, Sunnah and Self-Esteem. Ilali amami, inshallah. Ilali amami, inshallah. Àwa tá ń tẹ̀lé tí òjíṣẹ́ ńlá. Iwájú làwa ò máa lọ, a ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Iwájú lèmi ò máa lọ, ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o. Iwájú lẹ̀yin ò máa lọ, ò máa ní ìrẹ̀yìn o.